Good morning and good evening, everyone. On behalf of Omega Pyramid Dallas, PSSM Corporate, and Pyramid Valley International, we warmly welcome you to day 144 of Stillness Beat, your daily dose of meditation and wisdom. As we move closer towards the 6-month mark of a meditation practice, it is worth taking a moment to reflect on how far we have come together. What may have started as a simple daily effort has gradually become a path of inner growth, patience, and self-discovery. Along the way, many of us have likely encountered moments of calm, peace, greater focus, and a clear understanding of ourselves beyond the distractions of everyday life. Through consistent practice, we are learning not only how to sit in meditation, but how to carry greater awareness, balance, and compassion into our daily lives. So let's welcome Master Ivan to guide us in our daily meditation.
Namaste, good morning, everyone. Very happy to be here and wishing a good evening, good morning to everyone participating. Let us start with balancing out our nervous system for a minute, and we put our right palm over our heart. We close our eyes and we take 3 deep inhales, holding the breath for a few seconds and releasing. With every exhale, you withdraw your attention back to yourself, to the center. Inhale one more time. And the third time, expand with inhale. Hold it. And let go. And as you withdraw within, you can relax your palms on your legs, clasp your fingers. You're becoming aware of this voice guiding you, of maybe other sounds. You're aware of the light passing through your eyelids. And you're aware of the breath, which naturally, without effort and control, simply flows up and down your nose. And you are aware of yourself, who is aware of all of that. And above everything else, you are actually aware that you are aware. And by this simple exercise of observing your body, the surrounding, the breath, you have fully activated the right side of your brain in charge of being and feeling. You have activated your parasympathetic nervous system, which means you are ready to stay in the observation, in the being, instead of thinking and doing. So being aware that you are aware. Let all your attention simply rest on the breath. It is like an anchor for the moment. You do want to stay the observer for a little while. And you follow the breath from the tip of your nose to the root of the nose, between your eyebrows, and down the nose. There is no greater event in your life in this moment but the breath. This invisible, mysterious, life-giving appearance. And let the breath observation be like a little boat that takes you to the other side of the river, to the side where you just are. Be with the breath, dear friends and masters. If your attention moves to something else, bring it back to the breath. Not only are you observing the breath, you are flowing with the breath, as if it is you. There are No breath or you as separate. You yourself are moving up and down the nose. Keep that awareness. 2 more minutes, dear friends. Allow your breath to start being deeper. More and more, you're becoming aware of your entire body. And with a deep inhale, allow your attention to move from the toes, scanning the entire body to the top of your head. And with exhale, from the top of the head to the toes. Several times. Becoming aware of your fingers. You can move your fingers and your wrists. You can move your toes and your ankles. You can gently rub your palms slowly, just to get the sense of touch. And with the center of your palms, you will cover the eyes, putting the fingers over the forehead, creating a dark space for your eyes to energize and rest for a moment. And with deeper breath, you can open your eyes, becoming aware of the world around you.
Thank you so much, Master Yvonne, for sharing your energies and conducting a wonderful meditation session. I hope everyone was able to connect with their inner selves on a deeper level full of intention. Meditation is much more than a practice of sitting quietly. It is a journey towards understanding, accepting, and loving ourselves more deeply. As we continue on this path, we begin to realize that true self-love is not simply about treating ourselves externally or seeking temporary comfort, but while also caring for our inner world with sincerity and awareness. Through meditation, we slowly learn how to become calmer in difficult moments, more patient with ourselves and others, and more reflective in the way we think and live. In the stillness of meditation, we begin to better understand our emotions, our habits, and thoughts without judgment. Over time, this inner awareness brings a greater sense of balance, clarity, and peace into our daily lives. In this way, meditation becomes a form of deep self care, one that nurtures the mind, heart, and spirit. So today we will be talking to Master Ivan, an internationally recognized spiritual teacher, healer, and emotional therapist from Croatia, who's established his schools of awareness and spiritual mastery in multiple different countries and languages. Additionally, Master Ivan has also used his own ALO method, allow, let go, and hand over, which serves to release and heal emotional injuries, traumas, and blockages from the body and mind. Let's welcome Master Ivan to share the 5 practical expressions of love.
Thank you very much. Is there something that causes more curiosity in you?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I said, is there something that makes you very curious about these? Something specific you would want to know?
Something that very, I guess there's multiple forms of expressions of love around the world. Some people believe it as like, I guess they show love as gifting things. Some people like, physical like affection. Some people see it as spending time with the others. And so there's multiple ways. And how would you classify that into 5 practical expressions of showing love?
Very good. Where love is generally abstract concept, and about the true existence of love we cannot even speak about, because that is the life itself, the existence itself, the Brahman itself. And it is beyond our senses, it is beyond our comprehension, beyond the mind. So the true existence of love cannot be spoken about. Luckily, since this world is the reflection of the Absolute, we can see how this love can be reflected. And in my journey, the understanding came that just as we have 5 fingers of the hand, love in this world can be expressed in 5 directions or 5 ways. And no matter which of the 5 you take, if you grab it, all of them will go. So you don't even need to worry about doing all of them together. You can even grab any of the fingers, any of the 5 directions. And when you hold to one of them, the other 5 will develop. They will become a part of you. They will become your experience. What I like, I will name them first, and then we will begin. I like to put the thumb, which is the thickest one and the strongest one, let's say, as the respect. And love will always go from the self-love, or something that one has the grasp of doing with oneself, and then overflowing to everyone and everything. Generally, I need to possess something in order to give. If I would like to offer you a chocolate, I first need to have a chocolate to offer it. So if I'm offering you a chocolate and I do not have it, you will not receive it. So self-love is not anything selfish. It is not gloating. It is not boosting oneself. It is actually the natural way that we go through life, because the entire nature is set up like that. For example, a tree grows, but it does not worry about serving anybody. It does not think, oh, I should grow so that their birds can have a house to live. I should grow so that there would be shade. I should grow that there would be fruits for the humanity. No, it just grows. It absorbs the water as much as it can. It absorbs the sunlight. It changes the oxygen and carbon dioxide. And by caring for itself, by loving itself, by living itself, the result is the overflow of oxygen, is the beauty of the shade, the coolness of the shade. It is the taste of its fruits, and it is the home for insects and birds and other animals. So we tend to have a mental approach to life where we think that the end result is our duty. But our duty is the primary thing. The results belong to God. The results belong to Brahman. So the results will become self-obvious and they will be there once you live the essence. So the tree has its essence to exist, to be who it is, not to worry how it is serving. And then by being authentic, which is being a tree, it is serving. It is giving all those things I have said. But imagine if a tree was continuously worried about how to give. It would deplete itself because the attention would move from existence, from the essence, to action. So I always say, you take care of what is within your reach. You are within your reach. Make sure that your life is authentic, that you are you, that you are who you are. And then who you are will be like a fragrance. It will it will bear fruits, and it will serve naturally to the entire humanity and the earth itself. So these five, as I started saying, respect, understanding, acceptance, care, and freedom. I generally like to focus on four of these because freedom is something that will blossom by itself once those four are lived. And also because in our current civilization, there is so much talk about freedom and the need for freedom. Everybody wants to be self-sufficient, independent, self-something. And they will then judge the freedom from the ego point of view, which is, I am not burdened by anybody. I can do whatever I want. And that is the trap if you follow the freedom as one of the expressions. As I said, you can take any of them and all of them will go. However, with the freedom, there can be a trap that you do not really follow freedom, but some ego twisted idea of it. True freedom has nothing to do with anybody else. No, nothing to do with if you are even in prison, as Nelson Mandela famously explained when he was, I don't know, 30 years in prison or 32, some enormous amount of years. He did not feel unfree because prison outer conditions have nothing to do with freedom. But ego, if you would focus on it, would say, I want to be free. And Nelson Mandela was free in the prison. That's why he won the Nobel Peace Prize, because this level of state of consciousness that is so high that you know you are free wherever you are, because you are freedom itself, then expresses itself as peace. And you can only be then recognized in the world as such. The reason I put respect as the first one is because truly, if there was only respect, the whole world would be heaven immediately. And it definitely starts with self-respect. The reason why there is lack of respect for everything in the world is because there is complete absence of respect in majority of individuals. There is no respect for the body, because body is being destroyed by food, by incorrect inhaling of things, by beverages, by the pollution, by lifestyle, by worry. Worry is like the greatest enemy of the body. Overthinking. So if there was respect for the body, none of these things would be. The food would be appropriate, would be healthy, the habits would be healthy, the water would be the only drink probably you're having. Um, the air that you breathe, you would assure it is fresh, that you don't live in a terribly congested or polluted space. So when there is lack of respect for the body, when there is lack of respect for the mind, for the intellect, when there is lack of self-confidence, when there is lack of understanding that you are divine, that everything is possible to you, that you are a spark of Brahman, and that it deserves the ultimate respect, that never you should speak a bad word about yourself. Never say, I'm stupid, I'm lazy, I am incompetent, things don't work out for me. Those are all lacks of self-respect, because you don't know who you are. So you can't respect yourself if you don't know who you are. Then you are putting yourself down. Then you are not respecting your emotions, because whatever you feel, you want to change it. You feel ecstatic, it's too good. I can't stand it. I'm too happy. I can't bear this happiness, so you destroy it in the next moment with some stupid comment. Or you're angry, you can't stand being angry. You're sad, you can't stand being sad. You're afraid, you can't help, you hate being afraid. So it's like nothing is respected. Everything is always has to change. Oh, the body is too thin, it should have more muscles. It's too fat, it should lose fat. It's too tired, it's too old, it's too something. And it's like, respect what it is, accept what it is. And then when we have such a lack of respect within us, it is obvious that we will try, and it's only natural, we will try to force the respect outwards to cover up the lack of respect, because the lack of respect for the self then exhibits itself as the lack of respect outwards. And we can see uh, outwardly, we will say, we love our country. We love Mother India, Mother Croatia, We will sing the anthem. We will put a hand on the heart. We will be joyous while we are singing in the honor of our country. And then you will throw garbage on the street. You will pollute the air. You will destroy the rivers. You will destroy the earth with pesticides. You better not sing the anthem. It's hypocrisy. So trying to replace the lack of respect physically with these outer signs, words of respect, is the worst we're doing. I think the country would be happier if we were not singing in its glory and destroying it. The same is towards the people. Everybody wants to give honor and respect to others. And whenever I hear great, great words, I'm always concerned how much there is no respect in reality. Because I don't need to be honorable to be called honorable Mr., honorable this, respected elders, uh, the more great the words, most likely the less is the real respect. Because the real respect is by the time you are given, by the kindness, by the respect for your time, by the respect for your knowledge, by the respect for your experience, um, by the care provided. You see, not by the words given. So in the world, what I notice is a lot of mental and verbal trying to respect or impose respect. It's even a colonial, I would say, uh, inheritance, because in colonial times, the colonizer would enforce that you have to use these words because they knew you will not respect them. So it was legally obliged that you call somebody honorable minister, while you would like to call him shithead or, like idiot. So instead of insulting them, you were forced to call them by respect. But we don't need that anymore. We are free people, and we should acknowledge our freedom by not falling for the false, by not falling for something. The respect should be felt, then nobody will require it. When you feel respected, you don't need anybody to call you in any specific way. So what I'm inviting everyone is to truly, like, of all these five, I would like, I mean, it would take us days to understand them, but let us take respect truly as the primary expression of love. The love that is formless, that is so abstract, the divinity that we cannot grasp. If we point it out down to respect or to reverence as deep respect, which, if you read Bhagavad Gita, actually it will lead you to that. It will lead you to a level where you will respect life at the deepest. I invite everyone to start with seeing, how do I respect my time, for example, and you write it. Do I actually tolerate that people are late when we have agreed on something? Because if I do not respect my own time. I have a limited time, 24 hours a day. So if people are continuously late in my life, I am the one causing it, because I have lack of respect for the time itself. If I would respect it, people would not dare to be late because they would know I won't be there, or they will miss. So they will make sure that, just like they can make it on time to catch a flight, they will make it on time to meet me, because everybody can make it on the flight. People are generally not late. So when they know they will miss something, they will respect it. So you don't need to be harsh. It has nothing to do with putting the boundaries, rigidity. I'm not in favor of boundaries, even though in the contemporary modern culture and psychology, there are workshops about boundaries, to set boundaries. And whenever I hear it, I'm like, I have pain in my ears, because it's again ego-based. You do not need to set the boundaries when you know yourself, because your self-knowledge will create the electromagnetic field around you, just like the Earth has the atmosphere. The Earth generates a field around itself to protect its life, so that no cosmic radiation can go through, that no asteroid would be falling, but they burn in the atmosphere. But there is no wall, there is no real boundary. It is electromagnetic. You can pass through it. So the same is when you know who you are, you will create a vibration around you in your aura that will repel anything that is not for you. And whatever is good for you will pass through, like the sunlight passes through. But some UV and these are filtered out because they're harmful. So whatever is good will come in. Whatever is not will be filtered out by life. But if you want to set a boundary, it's like creating an artificial wall around Earth. That would be ridiculous. Then we would not get light. We would not get all the benefits that we need to get. So boundaries are only like a emergency thing. Like you break a leg and you need to urgently go to the hospital. Yeah, you should. Don't stay at home. Let them fix your leg. But that is not the way to live. You can't live in a hospital. It's just for emergency. So yes, sometimes you need to create a strong boundary, but not as a lifestyle. That should just be in a very grave situation, or if there really is some very unconscious person in front of you, and you need to very strictly say no. Otherwise, I'm being completely honest. I do not set boundaries to anybody about anything. And I do not feel that somebody is overstepping themselves. And even if they are, what it has to do with me? I do not accept those things. So they don't come to me. I can't care less. It's their life. It will project on them. So you see, when you start to respect your time, then your knowledge, do you really respect what you know? Do you really respect your experience? Because do you allow people to pay you nothing for what you truly know and what you truly can do? Do you allow them to give you little bits and pieces, breadcrumbs for what you offer, for your work? How do you really respect all the years that you have invested in a university when you are now at a company or somewhere? Do you feel respect is there? If you don't, it's because you're probably not respecting the amount of effort and time and money you have put to gain certain knowledge and skill. It starts there. I remember when I graduated, I was graduating from the university, and we were all getting interviews and offers for jobs. And at that time, um, in Croatia, it was a long time ago, 25 years ago or so, the average salary was ridiculously low, like $500, let's say, a month. Uh, I don't know, nobody can live with that, but that was the salary. And that's what you would get when you graduate from the university. And and my friends were asking me, like, what am I expecting? And I said, well, I expect 1,500 monthly salary. And they said, what? Are you crazy? But that's like more than double, triple than what you can get. Be lucky with like 600. And I said, no, I went to the best university there is. I have worked all the 5 years of the university. I have already done the work of assistant manager. So I have almost 10 years of hospitality and hotel career. I went from the dishwasher and the cleaner of toilets and the floors to the kitchen, to the reception, a waiter, and assistant manager of the hotel. So I have covered everything. It's not only what I have gained in the university, it is my experience. I'm not going to work for less than 1,500. And I said, but okay, as everybody's insisting that that is too much, in the first year I will settle for 1,000, and and then within 1 year they will give me 1,500. Everybody was laughing. They're like, you're stupid, you're like only 23 or something. And I had 5 offers for jobs waiting for me. Within 1 week of before graduation, all 5 huge corporations, very famous ones, called me and they said, there is some issue and we cannot give you the position. They didn't get approval from the board or some budgetary thing, whatever. Imagine all 5. And it seemed like too much to be a coincidence. So I said, well, God loves me so much and takes care of me at such a great level that it has canceled all these contracts because there is something better coming. Everybody said, what do you mean better? These were the best. I said, no, there must be something better for sure. So, and those were giving me some terrible salaries, like 500, 600, okay? And I knew I'm not going to work for that, but those were the offers. Anyway, they canceled. A professor when I was getting the diploma in hands, there were all the teachers were there to congratulate, and one of them, it was an American university in Croatia, so all the professors were mostly from New York, from RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology. That's where I graduated from, and he said, I'm doing my doctoral thesis. I will spend 1 month traveling all the coast of Croatia, and I need someone to help me translate. Are you free? I said, by chance I am, because all my jobs were canceled. I have no job. He said, would you do that? I can't pay you, but you will have free holidays for 1 month. We will be in 5-star hotels and I will pay all the expenses. And I said, oh, this is amazing. Not only will I get some great job, but I'm getting paid holidays. After the university, I can rest. So for 1 month, I was traveling the entire coast. If you know Croatian coast, it is one of the most beautiful in the world. 1,000 islands and beaches and historic places, beautiful. And after 1 month, on the last this business trip, a professor of mathematics asks if he can join us. And we say, of course, we are going for a day trip. And the professor asked me, Ivan, where are you going to work? I said, I have no clue. I don't have a job. He said, but what do you mean? Everybody does. You're the best student. I said, no, it was all canceled. He said, well, I heard that there is some foreign people opening an art gallery and they need a manager. I don't know anything about art galleries, and I was studying for hotels. But I felt it is for me, something I need to call them. And he said, I'll give them their number, they will contact you. And they call me and they say, well, we can schedule the interview next week when Her Imperial Royal Highness comes to Croatia. She will interview you. And I thought, I didn't hear well. What are they talking about? So I hung up. I thought, what a weird conversation. Next week, they called me again and they said, well, the Archduchess is here and she will meet you. So I thought, Archduchess. I went on the internet to look what Archduchess lives in Croatia. And I realized it's the Austro-Hungarian imperial family, the Habsburg family. And at the end, they end up hiring me. Having the life at the highest level of comfort and abundance that you can imagine. My first day was on their private yacht. My second day was on their private airplane going from Croatia to Austria, where they have a palace. So I slept in the palace. My office was in a palace. And by mistake, the Archduchess uh, did not realize what their managers told her she should offer me as the salary. So instead of telling me the net number, she told me the gross number. But she told me the gross as the net, which is like double. So I ended up with what I said. I'm gonna work for not less than 1,000. And it was exactly the 1,000. And within 1 year, it was 1,500. As I said, this is how I wanted to work. And you see, it starts with you. It's not that I'm obnoxious, that I'm selfish and think highly of myself, that, no, I'm not worthy of something. No, I clean toilets even today, happily. I'll go to any ashram and do it. I'll go to any home. Of course, in my home, I'm the one doing it. Uh, so it's nothing to do with what I think I am entitled to. No, it has only to do with this is business. It's not a charity. I'm happy to volunteer anywhere for hours and I will expect nothing in return. But if I'm going for a business where they're making money, then I should have self-respect because I'm a resource. And they should not, it's not my problem how they're gonna earn. It's their problem. My problem is to give my best and to know how much that is valued. So you see, when it starts with self-respect, life reflects it. Then I have only covered your time and your knowledge. What about your body? I have said a little bit about how you respect it. How much does it sleep? Do you exercise it? Because if body doesn't move, it's like you are not meditating. So it is horrendous to see the state of most bodies around. And we all know we are not bodies. But I'm also not a car, but I take care of it. I'm not a motorcycle, but I service my motorcycle. I put proper gasoline inside. I don't put diesel. Uh, I wash it. So even though I'm not the body, it should be taken care of properly. And the greatest help for the body is exercise and movement. So I exercise it daily for an hour, hour and a half every single day. Because if it doesn't move, it collapses. The joints become stiff, the spine becomes immobile, the digestive system stops working. It's terrible what you do if you just sit. So, or at least walk, at least like walk kilometers and kilometers per day. I now live in India and I can see that this country was not designed to walk, but that is a reflection of the lack of intention. Because if people here wanted to walk, they would design it for walking, just like we did. We want to walk in Europe. We love walking in Croatia. So we have made everything pedestrian because we love walking. And that's what we want for ourselves. But if you don't want to walk, you will not design it like that. You would design it, well, here it's not designed for anything actually. The road, it's not designed for rickshaws because of the holes, so they would fall in. It's not designed for walking, there is no sidewalk. It's not designed for cars because it's too narrow. It's not designed for buses because they can't go with the wires. It's not designed for anything, it seems. And it fits everything. It's very interesting. So I have to laugh about it. But it is, I'm trying to point that it comes from within. What you intend, what you find necessary, what you think is important will reflect outwards. So when you respect your body, when you want it to last, or that you do your best, you never know when you will die. Even if you're the healthiest, when it's your day, it's your day. There is nothing you can do. But at least until that day, you do your part, which is respecting it, feeding it properly, caring for it, showering it, washing it, making it look beautiful, because beauty is one of the aspects of the divine. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Sundaram, beauty. So if you want to be divine, you need to be good, truthful, and beautiful. And you are beautiful already, of course. You just need to maintain it. How else do you respect yourself? So time, knowledge, experience, your body, um, your your speaking, your own energy. You do not want to waste it. So the more you speak nonsense or speak unnecessarily, you're wasting it. I only speak when I'm invited, like now. If you would see me in the day, I'm mostly silent. There is nothing to be said. And when there is something to be said, I speak. Uh, People find me mostly like, let's say, introverted. Even though when I'm holding a program, in all honesty, I can speak for 3 hours without giving a break. And it has nothing to do with waste of energy, because it is something being channeled, it is something being said for the benefit of everyone. I do not put myself in places that drain energy. So by respecting my energy, I have energy. And then that respect can overflow. It overflows to the other people, to my home, to my space. Whoever comes to our home says, "Oh, it's so nice, so peaceful, we want to stay here." Well, you can create, I'm in Kolkata, in India. It's the craziest place in the world. You go in the street, you can have a nervous breakdown. It does not matter where you are. I live in pure peace. Come to my home, you will not want to leave. And it's just what you want to create for yourself. It is clean, it is full of light, it is not clogged with millions of furniture and things or old books and stuff. No, it is airy and it is meant for living, not for accumulating things. So when you know that you don't want to accumulate emotions and memories and resentments in you, your home will reflect. You're not going to collect old furniture and millions of stuff and papers and God knows what. Your home will be a reflection of the respect. Um, and 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 you nothing will be shameful. There will be no part of the house that, it is not dignified. Yeah, I speak about toilets. There is nothing undignified about them. It is part of you. You respect it and love it as much as your bedroom or the kitchen or any other place or the fridge. So then it will overflow from your home to the garden. Then your garden will be beautiful, clean, with flowers. That neighbors will be, oh, I would like a garden like that. I would like flowers like that. And then the street will become like that. And then the world will become like that. So uh, you will walk with respect in the street. You will then walk with respect to the other people. You will not elbow everyone to get forward. You will not honk all the time to pass. You will have respect and wait for 2 seconds that something changes on the crossroads. So you see, uh, this respect is so visible, unfortunately, and so easily changeable. And no mantra would do more benefit than starting to respect. And no amount of prayers or offerings to deities would give so much benefit to one's life, let alone the world, than to begin respecting. Because there is no deity, no Krishna, no Rama, no Lakshmi, no Durga. Nobody cares for those artificial, superficial, words and offerings. They want true respect. And true respect is knowing that they are in everything, that they are everything, and treating every single human being, every animal, every plant, every bird, every asphalt, every bench, every table, every computer, every fridge, every toilet, every bed, treating everything as they are, with the same reverence, with the same care, with the same attention, with the same kindness, with the same love. So I believe that if we would start with self-respect for all the things I have explained, it would overflow to everything, and truly God would feel finally respected on this planet. I'm sorry if I went too long.
You're fine. That was a lot of good points that you brought up. And honestly, respect does tie. It's like the biggest part of the cake, right? Once you bring this, you can get everything else. And I mean, I had actually a question because you're talking about at the beginning, you're talking about self-duty, like duty versus love, right? Like, how would you be able to essentially like differentiate how you know that someone's doing it out of duty and respect instead of just like pure love?
Can you repeat again? I need to understand what you're asking.
I was just asking what the difference or like how you'd be able to recognize that someone was doing it out of duty versus love.
Ah, um, that I don't mind, because even that duty will turn into love. It will eventually, unless they are developing resentment while they're doing it and calculating, thinking, look what I'm doing and I'm not getting anything in return. Then that is not really duty, okay? It's a cover up of the duty. Um, True duty does not create that. True duty is freedom. Uh, for example, you have the duty to feed your body, but you don't find it as a burden. It's just you know that this is a must. So you are not thinking of it as, oh my God, again, I have to eat. Or it's the duty to get up from bed. But it's not something that you know, dwell upon. You just do it. You get up and that's it. So the true duty is not a burden. It is just something that you know it needs to be done and you don't think about it. It's done. Uh, and if somebody is doing it like that, I do not mind. I'm not observing whether they're doing it out of duty or true love, because duty and love are quite close. Um, Satya Sai told us uh, duty is worship, and worship is God. But not in the worship in a sense of adoring an idol. Okay, it's in a sense of reverence, of deep respect. So worship actually translates as respect. You should use that word instead from now on. To worship something means to respect it, and then you see, oh, am I really respecting it or not? Um, so, however, what I did say is that we are trying to verbally or intellectually honor something while there is no content behind. There is nothing to back it up. It's just words. Um, I don't react to that, but I will know it's fake, and I will smile and accept it because that's the best I guess it can be in that moment. I don't have judgment or criticism towards it. But uh, that will not create a deep sense of loving in me. And it's okay. Not everybody has to, nor every situation needs to do that. Uh, at least on some level, it's happening. So let's say it's good, but it's not going to create true respect, because if you stay at the superficial, you will, it will keep you there. You need to choose to go deeper.
Our generation really values freedom a lot, like how you're mentioning that if you have like you're like self-independent, you don't have to worry about anything or worry about the burdens of someone's thoughts or emotions, right? And you
Hmm.
start setting boundaries because you're like, oh, if I set this boundary, I don't have to deal with something. How do you kind of get out of that mindset? Because I mean, that's something I'm also dealing with myself, as you said. You have to have the self-respect to be able to say, oh, I cannot do this. It's something I'm uncomfortable with. But at the same time, this feels just like a boundary. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm accepting it and moving on.
Oh, well, it is it is inner work always. So what you said, oh, I don't feel comfortable doing this. It's a nice way to say it. But you don't need to carry that with you. You have said it and it should stay there where it was said. It has nothing to do with you upholding it continuously. All you need to assure is that you feel comfortable in what you have said. Because if you feel comfortable, you will vibrate in that way. So if you truly are comfortable imagining that, oh no, this thing I don't do, that's not me, you will not need to justify it. You will not need to be explaining it or defend yourself. If you defend yourself, it means you yourself are still not comfortable or identified with it. You still feel it's something who you want to be, but you're not yet. So your job is to assure that you are. Okay? And you will use those boundaries only as emergency, as I said, as a first aid. Let's call it like that, first aid, until you have enough grown accustomed to who you are, discovering yourself. This is where meditation comes in place. That that it gives you a chance to keep discovering who you are, and then who you are is going to create the atmosphere that will create a natural protection without you intending to protect yourself. So it's not that the earth is all the time telling the asteroids, oh no, you don't enter here. it's not it's not arguing with the asteroids. They are trying all the time to come in. The earth is unconcerned about it because she knows they're gonna burn in the atmosphere. So you need to be as earth, so unconcerned with these outer impacts, knowing that who you are is protecting you from it. You see, I love to remember a story of a beautiful Zen master from a monastery in a remote mountain whose monks came running into the big meditation hall where he was sitting on this like a throne. And they said, Master, Master, the big army leader or conqueror who conquered 90% of the country, he has now come to our valley and he's at the door of our monastery. He's breaking through. And they were all in fear, and the master told them, you should flee through the back door. And they said, but what about you? This is my monastery, I'm staying. So they all ran away and he stayed. And suddenly through the doors of the hall breaks this the biggest, like conqueror of history. And he takes his sword and runs towards this master. And he tells him, do you know, like he was shocked that this guy is not bowing to him. He kept sitting in meditation posture and he took the sword. He said, do you know that I can cut your head off without blinking? Without even blinking. And the master looked at him and he says, do you know that you could cut my head off without me even blinking? And this warrior fell on his knees for the first time because he met the truth. He met someone greater than him. He was not going to destroy. He was overwhelmed with respect. He felt there is power greater than him. This is what he was seeking. He was conquering to see where it is, and he found it in a simple monk who could be killed without even moving. And he became his student. So you see, it is your aura protecting you. That's what it's meant for. With the self-knowledge, the aura becomes what it is meant to be. And what you asked about freedom, this demanding of freedom is just a sign of lack of inner freedom, because there is such a great conditioning and burden of opinions and thoughts and commentaries and fears and anxieties that people are trying to require freedom from the outside because there is such a lack of inner freedom. Freedom is something you live, you are. And if you're burdened continuously by resentments, by worries, by what happened, by what will happen, you are not free. Even in a democracy like the United States or Europe, where we have all the freedoms you can imagine. I don't know what there is not there. Everything is there. So why would we still demand freedom and independence when we are independent? No, it is an inner state. It's a sign of inner state. And then, because of that lack of respect for the inner freedom, inner space, the outer is now becoming more conservative and radical and taking away your liberties. Actually, the state now becoming more controlling or more extreme is the result of this inner lack of freedom, because it will always reflect outside. So we are actually not respecting if you live in the United States, the founding fathers, the people who fought the independence war. By not feeling this inner freedom, it's a lack of respect for those people. In Croatia, the same. We had 20, 30 years ago a war for independence. I don't know, 30,000 people died fighting. And I always say, they don't need monuments. They want you to live a good life. If you live a miserable life, what kind of honor are you giving for the life they have given? They gave their life for you to live, and you live in misery. That's very shameful. So instead of building monuments and flags, you should live well. That will be the greatest respect you give to someone who died for your freedom. So you see, when you truly respect, you don't worry about these outer things so much. You only want to assure that your life is worth living.
Yeah, I mean, when you respect your thoughts and you're not overthinking, you're not worried about the expectations or what people expect from you, you definitely live in a much more calmer world. You live in a more, I guess, something where you will respect yourself more, something that you understand that, hey, this is something that I'm not gonna mind, something I'm not care and waste my energy on. Thank you so
And
much for
maybe
sharing your wisdom.
maybe respect is too high of a thing to ask. And as I said, you grab any of these, all will go. So let's make it maybe easier. Maybe we can't focus on respect because we are so detached from it. Who knows? I know that even though I have these standards, let's say, or intention to live, I have disrespected people in my life. I have disrespected my partner. I have disrespected my parents, my family, my coworkers, for sure. And they have told me. I didn't run away. I apologized. I integrated. I wanted to understand. And I knew that always, my disrespect of them was because of not respecting myself. I found always where I'm not respecting myself and how it is projected on them. And actually, that helped me develop respect. You see, the conflict, the mistake I have made was something that provoked introspection and understanding that would bring respect. And actually, it benefited me at the end, even though it was very painful. When people feel disrespected, it's like all hell broke loose. Uh, and uh, um, and if you take it as a teaching, as something that benefits you at the end, you will not run away. You will say, okay, let me face this storm. Let me face this wave. And so, as I said, maybe I'm asking too much of ourselves to just focus on this. Let's take something easier. So we have three more. If we ignore freedom and respect, we have understanding. It's something that you can do mentally. When you see that somebody upsets you or you criticize them, or you have a negative comment, like you want to comment on the street or something, decide to have understanding. It's something you can do, literally. That's the beauty of 5 practical aspects. It's something you can do. So, how do I understand? Well, you ask yourself, you say, what has happened to this person in today for them to be in such a mood? How did they wake up? Did somebody step on their toe in the morning? Do they have a husband or a wife that gave them some terrible sentence and they left the house pissed off and now they're just, venting? I'm not saying that you justify. You do not need to justify anybody's behavior ever. You're doing this for yourself because you want to develop understanding, because understanding will lead you to compassion and compassion will open your heart. So when I'm saying have understanding, it's not so that you would justify other people and then let them use you as a rug. No, you're only doing it to open your heart because open heart is a strong electromagnetic field that will protect you at the end. So when you are able to trigger understanding, because that is at a rational level, it is something at your grasp. It's not subconscious, it's very conscious. You can say, you see somebody being a bad boss or a bad teacher, you can immediately know, I'm not talking to an adult. I'm talking to a wounded child. Would I be upset at the wounded child? Would I hate a wounded child? Would I have resentment to a child? No. I would know it's a child and it's immature, doesn't know how it's feeling, it's overreacting. You're not going to allow it to hit you, but you will not be resentful or hateful towards a child. So the same way, you should know that this is a planet of 8 billion wounded children. There are no adults on this planet, maybe a few. And so never think you're talking to an adult. You're always talking to a wounded child. Very rarely do adults have a chance to say something. And then you will see, oh, you will have understanding. And then you will become more compassionate. And your compassion will open your heart, you're benefiting. And then it will overflow to others. Once you have understanding, you can work on acceptance. Or if you don't want to understand, work on acceptance. That you accept everything as it is good for you. I accepted this when I was 13. I read it in the Bible. I mean, it didn't say like that. There was a story, and the story concludes that actually you realize that everything always happens for the best. no matter how it was going, then you're like, okay, I accept. Everything always works in my favor. This is how life is set. It is designed to work in everybody's favor, always. When it works in my favor, it doesn't mean it works against somebody. No, it always works in everybody's favor, including me. This acceptance of situations, of emotions, of life, you accept things as they are. You don't reject them. When you feel sad, you feel sad. When you feel happy, you feel happy. When you're angry, you're angry. You accept it. Only when you accept it, you can do something. Acceptance is like holding a glass. If I don't hold the glass, because acceptance is something you do with your fingers, if I don't hold it, if it's just standing on the table, I can't do anything with it. Only by accepting it in my hands can I drink it, can I offer you the glass, can I spill it or put it in the flowers behind me. Maybe I can break it, I don't like it, and I smash it on the floor. But only after I have accepted it is it within my power to affect it. Until I accept it, I cannot affect it. You see? So whatever you want to affect in this world, first you need to accept it. You don't like the government, accept it, then you will affect it. You don't like the way the neighborhood looks like, or the traffic, or whatever is organized. You don't like the relationship you're in, accept it and then affect it. And the last one, if you can't respect, if it's too difficult to have understanding, if it's too difficult to have acceptance, then at least have care. Care is the most physical one. You don't need to respect anybody. You don't need to understand them. You don't need to accept them for you to care for them. You go and you offer them a meal. You offer them a shower. You offer them clothes. You care if they fall. You help them get up. This is like the bare minimum. This is like what Krishna said in the Gita. He said, the highest are the ones who see me in everything. But then he said, if that is too difficult for you, then meditate upon me. If that is too difficult, okay, then pray to me, like with words. If that is too difficult, like you can't find time, okay, offer me to the idol some, prasad and something. It's like making it as easy as possible just to get you going. So if you can't do any of those, we come back to the basic, like help somebody somehow, which is really like the lowest possible. It's not the highest, but it's a good beginning. Okay. And yes, I would be lying if I would say that this is missing in the world. It's not. There is a lot of it. Thank God there is a lot of it. And we need to move further, okay? Not everybody is at that state, so it should be more. But the people who are already caring, and thank God this is already happening, they should be moving to the other ones. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I think I've heard a lot of interesting stories today and different perspectives. And I think the way you said, like in the Bhagavad Gita, when first he said, if you see me in every everything around you, he says it's like a level of respect, right? That you give to everything around you. You're respecting the rocks on the side of the road, you're respecting the people, even if they don't agree with you, just things like that. And obviously at the bottom, when you say you're offering something, it's like you're showing care towards the idol, right? You're giving them food, you're
Yeah.
worried them and you're offering something. So I kind of can see how like each level reflects with what you were saying as the bare minimum being care and like the most at most being respecting and seeing everything around you and
Mm.
respecting everything around you. So I just would like to open the floor for any questions from the audience because I'm pretty sure everyone has learned a lot today.
I didn't even leave much time for that. I'm so sorry.
Let's see. Actually, at the moment, I'm also in India as well, in Bangalore. And I want to say, I think it's also magical for me as well, because I'm coming from America. I came here. It's been a while since I've been here. I think it's so magical how, like you said, the roads are not really like suited for everything. Like even if you took a car to go somewhere, it'd be hard to find parking there. And it's just like however, though, everything just fits in place. It's so magical how like people cross the street all the time, like nothing ever happens. It just seems so normal for them. It's so magical for me to see all this chaos taking place, but it happens normally, like everyone's fine. So I think it's super magical how that happens.
When people doubt existence of uh, supreme intelligence or divine, I tell them, well, there is a living proof that God exists. And if you go to India and you see the chaos and nobody dies, that's the proof of God, because it is completely unexplicable how thousands of people do not get hurt and die in just walking on the street. It is miracle. This is the proof of divinity existing. It's like, for me, the best. And annually, I bring dozens and dozens of people from the West to India. Uh, I think that every human being once in their life should come here. It is the greatest acknowledgement and experience of the presence of God that you can have physically, and to realize that there is an intelligence that takes care of everything, that you're always taken care of, in spite of what things look on the outside. And to have that surrender, that trust, only India can give you, in my experience. And I have been to 50 countries in the world. So it is for me an honor to be able to bring people here and for them to experience something deep.
And I wonder, I mean, when you bring those people from the West over, I mean, it's definitely a big culture change, but have they ever felt like, oh, maybe we should change this. Maybe we should introduce more laws to make people follow traffic properly. Like, have they ever felt that? Have you ever felt that?
I don't know. Yes, for in some moments you do lose your nerves or if it becomes too much. And I want it to become too much for them because they need to have a nervous breakdown. And India is the best place to have it. Because the level of control they're trying to live in their lives, here they will see that without that control, they can still live and flow. So you can't let go of that control. So just like, okay, I'm not gonna control anymore. So having like a breakdown completely, like, I can't deal with this anymore, uh, something disintegrates because you can't go home, you're stuck here, and it's not stopping. It is like it keeps going. So somewhere inside, you need to give up on controlling. And this giving up happens because of too much chaos. And then they don't even see it anymore. The chaos becomes like an amazing flow and mixture of things that only happens here. That even now, I drive my motorcycle almost every day. I assure you, in Europe, 100 people would die in that one ride I have of half an hour if the same things happened there. And here nobody dies people somehow don't get killed by a bus. They miss it by 1 millimeter, and you cannot explain how it was missed because they were supposed to be run over. So it is something beyond. It is truly guided by something higher, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, yes, I mean, change is uncomfortable, but it's very needed if we have to learn certain lessons, like you said, of giving up. And I think that's why I'll be experiencing this time that I'm in India at the moment. But yes,
Yes.
thank you so much for your time and sharing your experience. Every single time I talk to you, I feel like I learned so much, so many new experiences. And, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure is mine. Blessings to all.
Thank you everyone for showing up to day 143 of our daily dose of meditation. And we're almost reaching a half a year landmark. And thank you so much for staying consistent with your meditation practice. Thank you.